treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, then you're in for a treat today. We're diving deep into the world of ultra-rare USA Washington quarters and dollar coins that are worth millions. Yep, you heard that right, millions. These coins might be hiding in your pocket change, or maybe they're already part of your collection, just waiting to be discovered. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on our exciting videos. Now, let's get into it. Today's video is one you'll want to stick around for. We're diving into the 2018 Washington quarter, a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket or change jar, waiting to turn into something much more valuable. We'll explore the history behind this coin, what makes it special, and most importantly, its current market value. So let's jump right into it. First, let's take a look at the 2018 Washington quarter. Now, when most people think of the Washington quarter, they think of the iconic coin that has been in circulation since 1932. This coin features the profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and the coin has undergone many changes in design and composition over the years. But the 2018 quarter is part of a special series within the Washington quarter program. While the coin may seem like just another piece of change to some, there's more to this particular coin than meets the eye. Let's start with where this coin comes from. The D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the U.S. Mint's most famous facilities. Coins produced here have that little D mint mark stamped on them. So if you find a 2018 quarter with a D on the reverse, you know it was made at the Denver Mint. The 2018 Washington quarter itself is part of the regular series of quarters released by the U.S. Mint, and it features the same design of George Washington on the obverse, front, and an eagle on the reverse, back. But there's more that makes this particular coin important in the world of numismatics. In 2018, the U.S. Mint was still in the midst of the America the Beautiful quarter series, which began in 2010 and was meant to showcase national parks and other national sites. But the 2018 Washington quarter itself doesn't feature one of those designs. Instead, it is part of a larger effort to produce a regular issue coin as part of the circulating U.S. quarters. So you might wonder, why is a regular quarter from 2018 so significant? Well, the 2018 quarter has caught the attention of collectors and investors because of a few factors: the rarity, the condition of the coin, and the limited availability. Let's talk about these in detail. To understand why the 2018 Washington quarter is valuable, it's important to look back at the history of the quarter itself. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since it was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Over the years, it has gone through various design changes, with the most notable ones being the State Quarter series in the 1990s and the America the Beautiful series from 2010 onward. These series stirred up a lot of excitement among collectors, but it's the 2018 quarter that remains a unique piece due to its connection to the end of the America the Beautiful series. Though many Washington quarters are seen in circulation today, coins with higher minting numbers or ones in pristine condition are what often drive up the value. For instance, rare minting errors, limited production, or certain variations like the double die error can add significant worth to any coin in the Washington quarter series, including the 2018 D. One of the key factors that impact the value of any coin is its condition. When a coin is in excellent condition, meaning it shows minimal wear and tear, it's referred to as being in mint state or uncirculated. The 2018 quarter in mint state is worth more than a worn or circulated version. Collectors always look for coins that have sharp details, bright luster, and no noticeable scratches, dings, or discoloration. If you've got a 2018 quarter in mint condition, you could find yourself holding a coin worth several dollars instead of just 25 cents. But there's a catch: the more perfect the coin, the more valuable it is. A coin that's graded as MS65 or higher, for example, can sell for around $5 or more, depending on the market. Now, let's talk about those mint errors and special variations that can significantly increase the value of a 2018 Washington quarter. Errors like double die strikes, off-center strikes, or other production mistakes are highly sought after in the coin collecting world. These errors make the coin unique, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for these rarities. For example, a 2018 D quarter with a double die error, which means the design was struck twice in different positions, could be worth hundreds of dollars. While such errors are rare, they do pop up from time to time, and they are worth looking out for if you're hunting for hidden treasures in your change. Alright, let's get to the part you've probably been waiting for: the current market value of the 2018 D Washinton quarter. As of now, in average circulated condition, a 2018 D quarter is worth face value 25 cents. However, as we mentioned earlier, uncirculated or high-quality examples in MS65 or higher can fetch around $5 to $7, depending on the demand. On the secondary market, like eBay or at auctions, the value can fluctuate based on the coin's condition and any unique characteristics. So if you happen to find a 2018 D quarter in near-perfect condition or with an error, you might be able to sell it for a lot more than you expected. So, how do you determine if your 2018 D quarter could be worth more than 25 cents? First, get the coin graded by a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll evaluate the coin's condition and assign it a grade that'll help you understand its worth in the collector market. Secondly, do a little research. Check auction sites like eBay to see what similar 2018 D quarters are selling for. Prices can vary based on demand, but it gives you a ballpark idea of what your coin might be worth. To sum up, the 2018 D Washinton quarter might just be a piece of change to most people, but for the right collector or investor, it can hold value, especially if it's in mint condition or contains a rare minting error. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a newbie just starting out, always keep an eye out for these types of coins. They could turn out to be worth a lot more than you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow collectors, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content on coin collecting. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector, a history enthusiast, or just someone who loves learning about unique pieces of American history, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 2014 D Great Smoky Mountains Washinton $quarter coin. We'll talk about its history, how it fits into the state quarters program, and most importantly, how much it could be worth today. So if you've got one of these coins in your collection, or maybe you found one in your pocket change, you'll definitely want to stick around for this one. Let's get started. Let's start by giving you a quick overview of the 2014 D Great Smoky Mountains quarter. This coin was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a series that was introduced back in 2010. Every year, the U.S. Mint releases 5 new designs, each honoring a different national park or site of historical significance across the United States. The 2014 coin celebrated the natural beauty and rich history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, located on the border between North Carolina and Tennessee. Now, if you look at the coin, you'll notice that the design features the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see a stunning image of a view from the park, with a great tree in the foreground and the rolling mountains in the background. Above the mountains, there's a design of mist, symbolizing the smoky look of the mountains that give the park its name. The coin also features the inscriptions Great Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, E Pluribus Unum, and 2014. As with all America the Beautiful Quarters, this one features a reverse design created by artists of the U.S. Mint and struck by the Denver Mint, which is why we call it the 2014 D Great Smoky Mountains quarter. Before we get into the value of this coin, let's talk a bit about the history behind the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's the most visited national park in the United States, attracting millions of visitors each year. The park was established in 1934 and is known for its biodiversity, scenic views, and a rich history that stretches back to the Cherokee Nation's presence in the area. By honoring the park with a coin, the U.S. Mint gave collectors and enthusiasts a chance to carry a piece of this iconic American landscape wherever they go. The America the Beautiful Quarters program was created to highlight some of the most beautiful and historically significant places in the U.S. Over the course of 11 years, from 2010 to 2021, the program featured 56 different national parks and monuments. Each coin in the series is symbolic of the natural beauty and history that these sites represent. So, the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter is part of a larger legacy of preserving and honoring America's treasures, both natural and historical. Alright, let's get into the juicy stuff. How much is the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter worth? If you've been holding on to one of these coins, you might be wondering if you've got a valuable piece on your hands. First off, like most circulating quarters, the standard 2014 quarter is worth 25 cents if it's just a regular, uncirculated coin. But don't worry, it's not always about face value. The coin's rarity and condition can make it worth a lot more. So, let's talk about what influences the coin's value. Value can depend on a few key factors, such as the coin's minting condition, whether it's been circulated, and if there are any special errors. Coins that are in mint state, meaning they were never used in circulation, are often worth more. For example, a coin that is in proof condition, meaning it was specially struck for collectors, can go for more money. A typical 2014 quarter in uncirculated condition might only be worth around $1 to $2, but in gem-proof condition, it could be worth upwards of $10 or more. But that's not all. Sometimes, collectors will pay more for coins that are part of a set or series. If you happen to have the full set of America the Beautiful Quarters, you might be able to sell the set for hundreds of dollars depending on the condition and rarity of the individual coins. Now, one thing that can really make a coin valuable is a minting error. Minting errors are when something goes wrong during the production of a coin, making it rare. For example, a 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter with a misaligned die or an off-center strike could be worth a lot more than a typical coin. These error coins are often prized by collectors, and their value can vary greatly based on the severity of the mistake. Some errors can turn a quarter that's worth just 25 cents into a coin worth hundreds of dollars. But keep in mind, these errors are very rare, and if you come across one, you'll want to have it appraised to understand its true value. So, what's the current market value of the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter? As of today, the standard quarter is still mainly worth face value unless it's in uncirculated or proof condition. However, you can expect prices of mint condition versions to range from $1 to $5. And, as I mentioned earlier, if you're lucky enough to own a rare minting error, the price could skyrocket. Now I know you're probably wondering, is it a good investment? Well, like any coin, the value can fluctuate based on demand from collectors. The market for these quarters is still strong, and as more people get into coin collecting, it could continue to rise. If you're just starting out as a collector, the America the Beautiful series is a great place to begin. And who knows, you might have a hidden gem in your collection that could be worth a lot more in the future. So, there you have it, the story of the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter, its history, design, and current market value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, this coin is a beautiful piece of American history that's well worth checking out. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content on coins, collectibles, and all things history. Have you found a 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter? Let us know in the comments below how much you've seen it sell for, or if you've got any tips for fellow collectors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey there, coin collectors and history buffs. Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the fascinating world of numismatics and coin collecting. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that's often overlooked but holds potential value, the 2015 Washinton Quarter. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the hobby, you'll want to stick around to learn all about its history, worth, and why it could be worth a lot more than you think. Let's get started. Before we talk about the value, let's take a moment to appreciate the rich history behind the Washinton Quarter. First minted in 1932, the Washinton quarter has gone through several design changes, but the most notable was the transition in 1999 to the State Quarters Program. By 2015, the U.S. Mint was moving through the America the Beautiful series, and this coin represents one of the final quarters in that series. However, 2015 also marks the year the U.S. Mint released the first America the Beautiful quarter featuring Homestead National Monument of America in Nebraska. On the reverse side of the 2015 Washinton quarter, you'll see the stunning design that celebrates this national monument. The Homestead National Monument coin depicts a farmer's plow with a backdrop of rolling Nebraska plains. Above the plow, the words Homestead and Nebraska are displayed, with the famous National Park's date of establishment, 1938. The overall design was chosen through a competitive process, and it's truly one to be admired. Now you might be wondering, what does that D Mint mark mean? Well, the D indicates that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint is one of the most famous mints in the country, known for producing billions of coins every year, and the 2015 Washinton quarter is no exception. In total, 2015 saw over 400 million quarters minted across all the mints, but the Denver Mint produced the largest share. So, when you find a 2015 Washinton quarter, you know it comes from a massive batch of coins that's made its way into circulation. Let's talk about the value of the 2015 Washinton quarter. At face value, of course, this coin is worth just 25 cents. But if you're watching this, I know you're not just here for the face value. You want to know if it's worth more than that. Currently, most 2015 Washinton quarters in circulation are worth exactly 25 cents, especially if they're in typical circulated condition. However, like any coin, the value can increase based on its condition, rarity, and demand. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state, MS70. A 2015 quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition could fetch up to $1 or more, especially if it has been kept in a protective holder since it left the mint. But, and this is a big but, it's not just about condition. Let's talk about the rare cases. Certain 2015 quarters with rare errors or unique features can skyrocket in value. For example, some collectors are on the lookout for coins that exhibit the double die or other minting errors, like misstrikes or die cracks. These errors can create additional value, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars or more, depending on the rarity. Look closely at this example. The double die error results in a faint, blurry second image of the coin's design. If you happen to find a quarter like this, you could be sitting on a small treasure. As of today, the market value of a 2015 Washinton quarter in excellent, uncirculated condition ranges from about $1 to $3, depending on demand and where you're selling it. However, most circulated coins are still only worth face value, around 25 cents. Coins with minting errors can go for upwards of $50 or more if they are verified by a reputable grading service. Collectors love the 2015 Washinton quarter for a few reasons. First, it's part of the America the Beautiful series, which makes it a valuable addition to any collection of U.S. quarters. Second, it's a modern coin, meaning it's still relatively easy to find. Third, it connects to the history of our nation, celebrating the Homestead National Monument and the story of America's growth and expansion. Now, how do you go about finding one of these valuable 2015 Washinton quarters? Here are a few tips to increase your chances. Search through your change. Always be on the lookout when you get quarters in your daily transactions. You never know when you might find one in good condition. Look for error coins. Check carefully for any signs of minting errors, like double dies or other imperfections. Check online auctions and marketplaces. If you're looking to sell or buy a rare 2015 coin, platforms like eBay can be a great place to see what collectors are paying. So, there you have it, the 2015 Washinton quarter. While most of these coins are worth just 25 cents, there are plenty of rare and valuable specimens out there that nice profit. Whether you're collecting for the fun of it or hoping to find a hidden gem, keep an eye out for that Homestead National Monument design, and who knows? You might just have a coin worth more than you expected. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 2015 Washinton quarter and want to learn more about other coins and their values, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, happy collecting! Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a coin collector, a numismatist, or even just someone who's interested in making a little extra cash from coins, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might already have in your pocket, the 2019 Lowell Washinton quarter. Is it worth more than its face value? Let's find out. Alright, let's start with a little history about this coin. The 2019 Lowell quarter is part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which has been released by the U.S. Mint since 2010. This program features a series of quarters, each honoring a different national park or historic site across the United States. The 2019 series was no different, and one of the most notable coins in this year's release is the Lowell National Historical Park quarter. This coin, designed by artist Richard Masters, celebrates Lowell, Massachusetts, which is known for its pivotal role in America's Industrial Revolution. The design showcases an image of a woman working in a textile mill, a nod to the park's history in preserving the stories of women laborers in the mills. Now, we get to the interesting part. You might have this quarter in your pocket right now, but does it have value beyond 25 cents? Let's talk about that. So, what makes the 2019 Lowell quarter potentially valuable? Well, most quarters you find in circulation are worth just 25 cents, right? But some quarters, especially ones from certain years or with specific characteristics, can be worth much more. So let's break it down. The general value of a 2019 Lowell quarter in typical circulation is around its face value of 25 cents. But here's where things get interesting: condition matters. A coin's condition is categorized into different grades, like good, very fine, extra fine, and uncirculated or MS65 and above. The higher the grade, the more the coin could be worth. An uncirculated 2019 Lowell quarter, meaning it's in perfect condition, like it just came off the minting press, could fetch anywhere from $1 to $3 on the secondary market. But let's say you find one that's been graded even higher, like a MS67 or MS68. In that case, it might sell for as much as $10 to $20, sometimes more, depending on the rarity and demand at the time. Interestingly, low mintage coins or those with errors can make a big difference in the value. The 2019 Lowell quarter has a total mintage of over 200 million, so it's not exactly rare. But when you find one with a die crack or other minting error, it could skyrocket in price. Alright, so now you're probably asking, what's the current market value of the 2019 Lowell quarter today? Well, let's check the latest coin auction results and listings. Right now, you can find uncirculated 2019 Lowell quarters on platforms like eBay for anywhere from $1 to $3 if they're just in mint condition. However, if you happen to have one with an error, like a double die or a rotated die, you might be able to sell it for much more. Some auction listings have reached upwards of $10 to $50 for such rarities. And here's a pro tip: be sure to check your quarters for errors. A double die, for instance, could dramatically increase the value. Some collectors even pay hundreds of dollars for a single coin if it has the right mint error. So, why does the 2019 Lowell Washinton quarter matter so much to collectors? Well, each coin in the America the Beautiful series is part of a broader effort to celebrate and preserve American history. The 2019 Lowell quarter, in particular, highlights the important role that industrial history and women's labor played in shaping the nation. This adds a layer of historical significance, making it more appealing to collectors who value not just the coin itself but the story it tells. Plus, the America the Beautiful series as a whole is expected to increase in value over time as fewer and fewer of these coins are in circulation. So, if you hold on to your quarters long enough, you may just see their value rise. Okay, so now that you know the value, you're probably wondering, how can I sell my 2019 Lowell quarter if it's worth more than 25 cents? To sell your coin, you can try online platforms like eBay, where coin collectors are constantly on the lookout for interesting pieces. You can also check out local coin shops or even attend a coin show, where you might find buyers looking for exactly what you have. Before you sell, though, make sure to get your coin properly graded by a professional if you think it might be worth a lot. A certified grading can give buyers confidence and help you sell it for a higher price. So, to wrap up, the 2019 D. Lowell Washington Quarter. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and tricks. If you have a 2019 D. Lowell quarter or any other interesting coins, leave a comment below and let us know what you've found. Until next time, happy collecting! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're into numismatics, or just love learning about coins, you're in for a treat today. We're diving into a fascinating journey through the history and value of the California and Washington $quarter coins. From their inception in the 19th century all the way to the modern era, these coins have captured the hearts of collectors and investors alike. So, let's explore their story, their worth, and what makes them so valuable today. Before we get into the details of the value and market, let's take a trip back in time to where it all began. Let's start in the 1800s. In 1850, California became the 31st state of the United States. At the time, there was no official commemorative coin for the state, but that would soon change. While there wasn't a specific California quarter issued just for the state in the mid-1800s, the region played a pivotal role in the development of American currency, as California's gold rush in the 1840s and 50s had a huge impact on the economy. As the California gold rush accelerated the country's wealth, it triggered the creation of gold coins and the expansion of minting across the U.S. By the end of the 19th century, the demand for more coins like the quarter was growing, especially in areas with booming economies like California. Fast forward to 1932, a year after the Great Depression started to shape the U.S. economy. The Washington quarter was introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, this coin featured a left-facing profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. The Washington quarter was a fresh design, replacing the standing Liberty quarter that had been minted for just a decade prior. From 1932 to 1964, the Washington quarter became a staple of everyday currency. People used these quarters in daily transactions, making them some of the most circulated coins in the history of U.S. currency. But while these quarters were common at the time, their value has changed significantly over the decades. During these years, the U.S. was still using silver in coins, and the Washington quarter was made of 90% silver up until 1964. This is one of the key reasons these older coins have become so desirable today among collectors and silver investors. Now, let's talk about the silver aspect. Between 1932 and 1964, the Washington quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. This gives them an intrinsic value based on the silver content that fluctuates with the market price of silver. Silver prices have fluctuated throughout history, and this has greatly impacted the market value of coins like the Washington quarter. For example, in the early 2000s, as silver prices rose to over $40 per ounce, the value of a Washington quarter shot up as well. A single coin's melt value could surpass its face value of 25 cents. In 1976, to celebrate the U.S. bicentennial, the design of the Washington quarter was modified. Instead of the typical eagle on the reverse, a special reverse was created featuring a depiction of the drummer from the Continental Army, symbolizing the struggle for independence. The U.S. Mint issued a new type of Washington quarter that became instantly popular with collectors. These coins, while still produced in clad copper-nickel metal, are highly collectible. The 1976 bicentennial quarter has seen varying values over the years, but it's important to note that these aren't necessarily valuable because of their composition. Rather, it's the historical context and their limited mintages that make them sought after. Jumping ahead to 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, which featured unique designs representing each state. The California quarter, issued in 2005, was one of the most memorable in the series. On it, you'll find an image of a grizzly bear, representing California's state flag. This coin became iconic not only for its striking design but also for how it commemorated the state's history and its place in the nation. Although these state quarters were minted in large numbers, they still have value beyond their face value of 25 cents. As part of the series, they are popular with both collectors and people who appreciate the unique state symbols represented. California's grizzly bear design, in particular, stands out as one of the most beloved of all the state-themed quarters. Now, let's get to the heart of today's topic, value. For many collectors, the pre-1965 Washinton quarters are considered the most valuable due to their 90% silver content. A typical Washinton quarter from the 1930s to 1964 will be worth at least its silver value, depending on the current market. With silver prices fluctuating, these coins are worth anywhere between $3 and $8 or more, depending on the coin's condition. However, if you have a Washinton quarter in exceptional condition, you might see much higher values. A coin in uncirculated or proof condition, especially from the early years like 1932, can fetch several $100s. And if you've got one of the rare key dates, like the 1932D or 1932S, it could easily be worth over $1,000 or more. Let's talk about the current market. The 50 state quarters program ran from 1999 to 2008, and though these coins are not made from silver, many still hold sentimental and collectible value. With more collectors seeking out these quarters for their designs and historical significance, many state quarters can still fetch premium prices in the right market. Looking at recent trends, some of the 2005 California quarters, particularly in mint state or era varieties, have been fetching a few dollars, but it's usually the early, silver Washinton quarters that have consistently increased in value over time. If you're lucky enough to find one in exceptional condition or with a rare mint mark, you could see a nice profit if you decide to sell. So, whether you've got a California quarter from the 2005 state quarters program or you're holding on to some vintage Washinton quarters from the 1930s, there's plenty of potential value in your collection. Of course, the key to finding value is knowing the condition of the coin, its rarity, and the market trends. If you have any of these coins tucked away, it might be worth taking a second look to see if they're worth more than you thought. Thanks for watching today's video. If you learned something new about the history and value of the California and Washinton quarters, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more coin and currency insights. And if you have any rare coins in your collection or want to share your experiences with these coins, drop a comment below. See you next time, and happy collecting! Hey coin collectors! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1985 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. You might be surprised to learn this coin is more than just a simple pocket change. It could be worth a lot more than you think. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1985 no-mint mark quarter, let's take a moment to talk about Washinton quarter itself. First issued in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this coin has become one of the most iconic in American numismatics. Over the decades, it's been minted in various forms and designs, but it's always featured a portrait of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Now, the design hasn't changed much throughout the years, except for slight adjustments over time. The Washinton quarter was originally produced in 90% silver, but starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. Now, let's fast forward to 1985. This is the key year we're focusing on today. You may already know that most coins minted in the U.S. feature a mint mark, which tells you where they were produced: the Philadelphia Mint, P, the Denver Mint, D, or the San Francisco Mint, S for proof coins. But here's where things get interesting. The 1985 Washinton quarter, if it doesn't have a mint mark, was minted in Philadelphia. Typically, coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark at all, which is why some collectors call them no mint mark quarters. But the 1985 quarter isn't particularly rare because of this. The real story lies in the market demand, the coin's condition, and the scarcity of high-quality specimens. So, what makes the 1985 no mint mark Washinton quarter special? Well, it really comes down to two things: scarcity and condition. The Philadelphia Mint produced a lot of these quarters, but finding one in uncirculated or near perfect condition can be difficult. If your coin shows signs of heavy wear or tarnish, it's worth much less. But if you have a 1985 no mint mark quarter in brilliant uncirculated or gem condition, you're looking at a significantly higher value. Coins with higher grades, such as MS65, MS66, and beyond, are in higher demand from collectors. These are coins that show minimal wear, good luster, and clean surfaces. To grade a coin, the American Numismatic Association uses a scale from 1 to 70. So, if your 1985 no mint mark quarter falls into the higher range, it could fetch a premium. Now, let's talk about current market values. The value of your 1985 no mint mark Washinton quarter can vary greatly depending on its condition and whether it has been professionally graded. As of today, in circulated condition, these coins are usually worth just face value, 25 cents. But once you get into higher grades, that's when things get interesting. MS63, in mid-range uncirculated condition, these can sell for around $3 to $5. MS65, in gem uncirculated condition, you could see prices anywhere from $15 to $25. MS67 or higher. Coins with this grade can command prices of $50 or more, with rare examples possibly fetching even higher prices in the right market. Of course, prices fluctuate based on the market, so it's always a good idea to check current auction listings, coin dealers, and price guides to get an accurate value for your coin. Wondering how to check if your 1985 Washinton quarter is worth more? Here's what to do. Step 1. Inspect the coin carefully. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration that might reduce its value. Step 2. Use a magnifying glass to check for any mint mark on the obverse or reverse. Remember, quarters minted in Philadelphia will have no mint mark. Step 3. Grade the coin. If you're unsure about the condition, it's worth getting your coin graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Step 4. If the coin is in excellent condition, take it to a reputable dealer or auction house to get an idea of its market value. Collecting Washinton quarters can be a rewarding hobby, especially if you focus on specific years or varieties, like the 1985 no mint mark. If you're looking to invest, it's important to pay attention to the condition, rarity, and the overall demand for these coins. While the 1985 no mint mark quarter isn't one of the rarest Washinton quarters, well-preserved specimens can still bring in a good return. So, there you have it, the 1985 no mint mark Washinton quarter. It's not just a piece of change. It could be a valuable collector's item depending on its grade and condition. Always keep an eye out for those special coins hiding in your change jar. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts or questions about this coin or other collectible coins you want to know more about. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting! Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American history, the 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter. You may have heard of it, or maybe you have one lying around in your coin collection. Either way, this coin has a unique story and can potentially be worth a lot of money. So, let's dive into the history, the value, and how much these quarters are really worth today. Make sure to stick around until the end to learn everything you need to know about this coin. To understand the 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter, we first need to take a quick trip back in time to the history of the Washinton quarter itself. The Washinton quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin featured a portrait of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, a design that would remain the standard for decades. In 1965, however, a major change took place in U.S. coinage. To deal with a coin shortage and rising metal prices, the U.S. Mint began producing coins with a different composition. By 1970, the Washinton quarter had gone through some subtle design changes, but the most significant alteration that year was the absence of the mint mark on quarters produced in Philadelphia. Now you may be wondering, why was there no mint mark? Let's break it down. Typically, the U.S. Mint places a mint mark on coins produced at one of its three main facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins made in Philadelphia usually have no mint mark at all. But in 1970, something special happened. The U.S. Mint produced quarters at all three of its mints, but due to an administrative change, they decided not to put a mint mark on the coins produced in Philadelphia, marking a rare and unusual occurrence for the time. So, if you find a 1970 Washinton quarter with no mint mark, it means it was made in Philadelphia. However, it's important to note that quarters from Denver and San Francisco still had their mint marks, D and S respectively. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter. Unlike other years, the absence of the mint mark in 1970 makes this coin a bit more intriguing to collectors, but it's not necessarily rare in terms of overall quantity. The U.S. Mint produced a large number of these quarters, which means that finding one in average condition isn't as difficult as some might think. Coin values are often determined by their condition, or grade, which ranges from good to mint state. A coin in better condition will naturally fetch a higher price. For example, a 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter in good condition can be worth anywhere from $3 to $6, but if you find one in uncirculated or higher grades like MS-65, the value can skyrocket to over $30 or even more. And here's where things get interesting. In the past, some collectors have sold high-quality 1970 no mint mark quarters for even higher amounts, especially if the coin has a unique feature, such as a strong strike or an error. Keep in mind, the rarity factor, such as the quality of the coin and any potential misstrikes, can make a big difference in value. Speaking of errors, some 1970 no mint mark quarters have been known to contain mistakes during production. These errors are often highly prized by collectors and can increase the value of the coin significantly. One common error is the double die obverse, where the date or the word Liberty is doubled, creating a visual effect. If you happen to find a 1970 no mint mark quarter with such an error, you could be looking at a much more valuable coin. These error coins can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity and condition. So, now that we've covered the history and potential value of the 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter, what is it actually worth in today's market? Well, like we mentioned earlier, a 1970 no mint mark quarter in good condition can be worth about $3 to $6. If it's in fine condition, you're looking at a price range of $6 to $12. But for an uncirculated coin or one graded at MS-65, it can easily be worth anywhere from $20 to $30, or even higher. If you're lucky enough to find a rare 1970 no mint mark quarter with a strong strike, an error, or in near perfect condition, you might even see it selling for $50 or more at a coin auction or private sale. The market for rare coins can fluctuate, so it's always a good idea to check current values through resources like the Red Book, the PCGS, or other trusted numismatic guides. So, how can you tell if you have a 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter in your collection? First off, you'll want to look for the absence of the mint mark on the reverse side, under the eagle. Unlike the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, a 1970 no mint mark quarter produced in Philadelphia will have nothing there. Also, make sure to check the condition of your coin. If it's still shiny and crisp, it may be in an uncirculated state, which will significantly increase its value. And if you're uncertain about its grade or potential errors, consider reaching out to a professional coin grader to get an accurate appraisal. To wrap things up, the 1970 no mint mark Washinton quarter might not be the rarest coin out there, but it definitely has a special place in numismatic history and can be worth a nice sum depending on its condition. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or a beginner, these quarters are definitely worth keeping an eye on. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more coin-related content. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember to always check your pockets. Hey there, coin collectors! Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in the United States coinage history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark. This seemingly ordinary quarter has an interesting backstory, and believe it or not, it could be worth a lot more than you think. If you're a collector or just someone curious about coin values, stay tuned as we explore the history, rarity, and market value of the 1965 no mint mark quarter. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about everything coins, from history to how much they're worth today. If you enjoy learning about coins and their values, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now, let's jump right into the 1965 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, was a cornerstone of American coinage. However, by the 1960s, the country was in the midst of a national coinage crisis. The price of silver was rising sharply, and by 1965, it had become expensive to mint coins that contained precious metals. 1965 marked a significant turning point for U.S. coinage. The U.S. Treasury made a bold move to eliminate silver from many coins, including the quarter. While the quarter was traditionally made with 90% silver, it was now being minted with a clad composition, which means it was primarily made from copper and nickel, with no silver content at all. Here's where things get interesting. For 1965, the U.S. Mint decided to stop putting mint marks on many coins, including quarters, dimes, and half dollars. This means that for most of these coins, you won't find the familiar D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco mint marks. The 1965 quarter was minted only at the Philadelphia Mint, but without a mint mark to indicate its origin. That brings us to a big question. Why was there no mint mark? The 1965 issue was the first time that the mint stopped using mint marks for many years. The reason? It was due to the urgency to produce coins quickly during a period of intense coin shortages and national economic stress. While the lack of a mint mark on the 1965 Washington quarter might seem like a simple oversight, it actually created a rare and highly sought-after coin among collectors. Despite the lack of silver content, these coins were produced in large numbers at the Philadelphia Mint. However, the absence of the mint mark made it much more difficult for collectors to determine its origin. This confusion sparked a lot of interest. Now, while the 1965 no mint mark quarter is not as rare as some of the rarer coins in U.S. history, it is certainly a unique and collectible item. But there's more to the story, because some versions of this coin have been reported to be much rarer than others. While most 1965 quarters were struck without a mint mark, a handful of these coins have been discovered with what appears to be a faint mint mark that has been either faintly struck or was not properly erased. This has sparked speculation about errors in the minting process and further increased the value of certain examples. Now, let's talk about the current market value of the 1965 no mint mark Washington quarter. As of today, these quarters are generally worth more than their face value of 25 cents, but their price can vary significantly depending on their condition and whether they are an error coin. In average circulated condition, a 1965 no mint mark quarter might sell for around $3 to $5. That's a solid markup from the quarter's face value, but not exactly a small fortune. However, as you move into higher grades like MS65 or MS66, meaning mint state, where the coin shows little to no wear, the value can increase dramatically. An MS65 example of the 1965 no mint mark quarter could fetch between $10 and $30, depending on demand. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1965 quarters with minor minting errors, such as those with faint mint marks or unusual strikes, can command prices upwards of $50 or even more at auction. And don't forget about the higher grade examples. Coins with exceptional quality, near perfect coins in MS67 or MS68 grades, can be worth several $100s, with some even reaching into the $500 to $1,000 range for particularly pristine examples. These are rare, but they do exist, and they represent the highest value for this coin. Of course, the market for coins can fluctuate based on trends and collector demand. But as of right now, the 1965 no-mint mark quarter is a prime example of a coin that's worth more than just its copper-nickel content. So, how do you identify one of these valuable coins? The key here is to check for the lack of a mint mark. Most quarters after 1965 have mint marks, but this particular year has none. You'll want to inspect the reverse side of the coin, just above the eagle's tail feathers, where the mint mark usually resides. Check for signs of wear, as this can affect the value of your coin. In higher quality examples, look for sharp details in the hair and eagle feathers, as well as a clear date and no major signs of corrosion or scratches. Next, if you're lucky enough to find a quarter with a faint mint mark or a possible error coin, make sure to get it professionally graded by services like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. This will help establish its authenticity and value in the market. So, there you have it. The 1965 Washinton quarter with no mint mark may not seem like much at first glance, but with its intriguing history and the potential for rare era varieties, it can be worth far more than its face value. If you find one in your collection or while coin hunting, don't just dismiss it, take a closer look. It might just be worth a lot more than you think. Remember, the value of coins is always shifting with the market, so be sure to stay up to date with the latest prices and trends. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more coin-related content. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Hey there, coin collectors and history buffs! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, focusing on a rare gem from the 1960s, the 1962 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. You might have one in your collection, or perhaps you're just learning about it now. Either way, you're in for an exciting ride. Stay tuned as we explore its history, value, and why it might just be worth a lot more than you think. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washinton quarter, first introduced in 1932 to celebrate George Washington's 200th birthday, has been a symbol of American coinage for decades. However, it's the 1962 Washinton quarter that stands out for certain collectors, especially those with no mint mark. To understand why a 1962 no mint mark quarter is special, we need to talk about the mint marks. You see, every U.S. coin is stamped with a mint mark indicating where it was made. Typically, quarters minted in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark, while those made in Denver were marked with a D, and those produced in San Francisco got an S. But in 1962, something unique happened. While most of the quarters produced were minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, the curious thing is that very few were made with an S or a D. This makes the 1962 no mint mark Washinton quarter particularly interesting to coin collectors. In 1962, a total of 124 million quarters were minted, but the vast majority of them were produced in Philadelphia without any mint mark. And here's where things get a little more interesting. Some quarters from that year, especially those without mint marks, are often in demand because of their relatively low mintage and age. Most of the time, the mint marks on coins help differentiate between mint locations, and collectors often seek coins from certain mints based on historical or aesthetic value. However, the lack of a mint mark on the 1962 Washinton quarter gives it a unique charm. For some collectors, this no mint mark can even increase the coin's desirability, especially if the coin is in excellent condition. Now, how do you spot a 1962 no mint mark quarter? It's actually pretty easy. Look for the year 1962 on the obverse side, which features the profile of George Washington, and check carefully for any mint mark beneath the ribbon in Washington's hair. If there's no mint mark, you're looking at a Philadelphia minted coin. But remember, just because a coin has no mint mark doesn't automatically mean it's valuable. The condition of the coin, including its grade, plays a major role in determining its worth. So, if your 1962 quarter looks worn down, has significant scratches, or shows signs of corrosion, it's not going to fetch the big bucks. But if it's in excellent shape, particularly uncirculated or near mint condition, you're looking at a potential treasure. Speaking of condition, let's talk about coin grading. Grading is the process of determining the quality of a coin, and it's essential for determining a coin's value. The most common grading scale is from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin with no flaws. For example, a coin in good condition, good 4, will show wear, with visible details but some fading. A coin in very fine condition, very fine 30, will show clear details, with light wear. A coin in uncirculated, MS 60 or above, condition will have sharp details, no wear, and might even have a slight sheen or mint luster. A well-preserved 1962 no-mint mark Washington quarter in uncirculated condition can fetch a much higher price than one that's heavily worn. So, how much could your 1962 no-mint mark Washington quarter be worth? Well, it depends on several factors like condition, demand, and even market trends. Here's a breakdown of general values for a 1962 no-mint mark Washington quarter. In circulated condition, if it has wear, scratches, or is heavily used, the value is typically $5 to $10. In uncirculated condition, if the coin is in great shape, with minimal wear and no major flaws, it could be worth anywhere from $12 to $30. High grade, MS 65 or higher. For a coin graded at MS 65 or better, you could see values reaching $40 to $100 or more, depending on the market and buyer demand. Of course, in some cases, rare specimens or coins with unique characteristics, such as being part of a limited collection, can exceed these average prices. Remember, coin values can fluctuate, so it's a good idea to check current listings and auctions to get a better sense of the latest market value. The market for coins like the 1962 Washington quarter has been on the rise over the years. In fact, with more and more people getting into coin collecting, the demand for well-preserved or high-grade examples is only increasing. Coins in uncirculated condition or those that have been graded by professional agencies like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, can sometimes fetch even higher prices at auctions, especially among serious collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare specimens. So, if you've got one of these coins, it might be worth getting it professionally graded to see if you have a high-grade example on your hands. If you think your 1962 no-mint mark quarter could be worth a lot of money, you might be wondering how to sell it. There are a few options. Online auction sites like eBay are great places to list your coins, especially if you have a rare or high-grade example. Coin dealers and shops. Many dealers specialize in rare or vintage coins and can provide a fair estimate of your coin's worth. Coin shows. If you prefer to sell in person, coin shows are a great way to meet potential buyers and collectors who may be interested in adding your quarter to their collection. To wrap things up, the 1962 no-mint mark Washington quarter is an interesting coin with historical significance, and if you have one, it could be worth much more than its face value. Whether it's in your collection or you're considering selling, understanding the history, value, and grading of this coin is essential. So, keep an eye out for those 1962 no-mint mark quarters, especially if they're in great shape. You just might have a hidden treasure in your hands. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments if you've got any 1962 Washington quarters in your collection. Until next time, happy collecting! Hey there, coin collectors and enthusiasts! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got something really special to talk about, the 1960 no-mint mark Washington $quarter coin. Now, if you've been searching through your spare change or your old coin collection, you might have stumbled upon one of these beauties. But did you know this little coin could be worth a lot more than you think? Well, stick around as we dive deep into the history, value, and current market trends of the 1960 Washington quarter with no-mint mark. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse, front, of the coin features a profile of George Washington, while the reverse, back, shows an eagle in flight. It quickly became one of the most iconic U.S. coins of the 20th century. Fast forward to 1960, and the Washington quarter was still being minted in high numbers, primarily to serve as the backbone of everyday commerce. This period was an interesting time for coinage, especially because it was smack in the middle of the 1950s and 60s when the US government was minting millions of coins to meet the growing demand for currency. But what makes the 1960 quarter particularly interesting is something very subtle: the lack of a mint mark. Now you might be asking, what exactly is a mint mark? Well, a mint mark is a small letter that indicates which US mint facility produced the coin. Most coins from the US have a mint mark that corresponds to a specific mint, for example, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in 1960, something strange happened. Certain Washington quarters were released with no mint mark at all. To clarify, in 1960, the Philadelphia Mint began producing quarters without placing a mint mark on them. This is why the 1960 no mint mark quarter is a bit more sought after by collectors. It's a little rarer than its counterparts from other mints that year, like the Denver and San Francisco minted coins. This absence of a mint mark gives the 1960 quarter its unique charm and contributes to its value. Alright, now let's get to the part you're all waiting for. How much is a 1960 no mint mark Washington quarter worth today? Well, as with most rare coins, the value depends on several factors, including condition, demand, and the market at the time. In general, a 1960 no mint mark quarter is more valuable than a regular 1960 quarter from the Denver or San Francisco mint. If your 1960 no mint mark quarter is in circulated condition, meaning it's been used in commerce, you can typically expect it to be worth around $6 to $10. That's not bad for a coin that only has a small quirk to make it stand out. But if you've got a high-grade 1960 no mint mark quarter, which is a coin that's in mint state, without any major wear and tear, that's where things get exciting. A 1960 no mint mark quarter in mint condition could be worth anywhere from $50 to $100 or more, depending on the specific quality of the coin. And if you've got a coin that's been professionally graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, it could fetch even more in the right market. So, what exactly affects the value of your 1960 no mint mark quarter? Let's break it down. Condition, the most important factor. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. The better the condition of your quarter, the more it's worth. Scarcity. While 1960 no mint mark quarters were not minted in super low numbers, they are still rarer compared to quarters with a mint mark. Scarcity drives demand, especially among collectors. Demand, the coin market fluctuates, but Washington quarters have always had a dedicated following. If there's a surge in interest in older coins, the value could rise. Professional grading, coins that have been graded by professionals are worth more, simply because buyers trust the grade. If you're looking to sell or auction your coin, getting it professionally graded could increase its value. Now that we know what makes the 1960 no mint mark Washington quarter valuable, let's talk about where to buy or sell these coins. If you're looking to add one to your collection or find a buyer, there are a few places to look. Coin shops. A local coin shop is always a good place to start. They'll have knowledgeable staff who can help you assess the coin's value and authenticity. Online marketplaces. Websites like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are popular for buying and selling coins. Just be sure to check the seller's reputation and the coin's condition before making a purchase. Coin shows. Attending a coin show can be a great way to find rare coins, including the 1960 no mint mark quarter. You can meet other collectors, learn about different coins, and potentially make a great deal. So, there you have it. The 1960 no mint mark Washington quarter may not have a huge mintage era like some other rare coins, but its unique features, combined with its appeal to collectors, make it a highly valuable coin today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's always fun to uncover coins like this and see what they're really worth. Before you go, don't forget to check your pocket change. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more coin-related content. Have any questions or want to share your thoughts about the 1960 no mint mark quarter? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey there, coin collectors and enthusiasts. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on everything related to coins, history, and values. Today, we're diving into one of the most interesting coins in U.S. numismatics, the 1958 Washington $quarter coin. If you've found a 1958 quarter, especially one with no mint mark, you might be wondering how much it's worth. Is it a hidden treasure or just another coin in your pocket change? Well, stick around because we're going to break down the history, the value, and what you should know about the 1958 quarter dollar. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by artist John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a portrait of George Washington, while the reverse shows an eagle perched on an olive branch. Now, fast forward to 1958. By this point, the quarter had been in circulation for over 2 decades, and it had already become an integral part of the American coinage system. The 1958 quarter, like other quarters minted during this time, was composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, making it a highly sought-after coin by collectors, especially those who are interested in silver content. But what sets the 1958 quarter apart from others? The real mystery comes when you examine the mint marks. Now, in 1958, the U.S. Mint produced quarters at 3 locations: the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. If you look closely at a quarter, you'll find a small mint mark letter, usually near the date. For the 1958 quarters, you might come across a D mint mark, which stands for Denver, or an S, which stands for San Francisco. But what makes the 1958 quarter particularly interesting is that some coins were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and these have no mint mark at all. That's right, if you find a 1958 quarter with no mint mark, you're looking at a coin that was produced in Philadelphia. The mint mark was typically omitted in this case, but these no mint mark quarters are a little less common than those with a D or S mint mark. Does that make them worth more? Let's take a look at what really affects the value. Before we talk about the current market value, it's essential to understand what makes a coin valuable. Several factors affect a coin's worth: condition, rarity, demand, and silver content. The 1958 Washington quarter is a 90% silver coin, which already gives it intrinsic value. Silver prices fluctuate, and this impacts the value of coins made during the pre-1965 era. But condition plays a major role as well. A coin in excellent condition, or uncirculated grade, will fetch far more than one that's heavily worn, corroded, or damaged. Coins with no mint mark, depending on their condition, could be worth more if they are in high-grade form. Coins are graded on a scale from good, G, to mint state, MS. A 1958 quarter in uncirculated or MS grade, meaning it has minimal wear and retains sharp details, is far more valuable than one in a lower grade. As an example, if you find one in pristine condition, it could fetch a significant amount more than one that's seen heavy circulation. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. What is the current market value of the 1958 Washington quarter? Well, it all depends on the condition, mint mark, and silver content. Here's a general breakdown. 1958 quarter, no mint mark. In good to fine condition, these coins usually have a value just above their melt value, which is determined by the silver content. As of today, with silver prices around $24 per ounce, the melt value of a 1958 quarter is roughly $3.50 to $4, depending on the exact silver content. In good condition, expect to pay around $5 to $7.1958 quarter, no mint mark. In uncirculated or MS condition, if the coin is well preserved and has minimal signs of wear, it could be worth anywhere from $15 to $30 or more, depending on its grade and demand. 1958 quarter. With D or S mint marks, quarters with the D or S mint marks from 1958 tend to have a slightly lower premium than those with no mint mark, but they still carry value due to their silver content. These coins in good to fine condition generally range from $4 to $7, while higher grades could push the value closer to $10 to $20.1958 proof quarter. San Francisco Mint. If you come across a proof version of the 1958 quarter, which was specially minted for collectors and is made with higher quality dies, it could be worth anywhere from $30 to $50 or more, depending on its condition. So, where can you buy or sell a 1958 quarter? There are a few options. Local coin shops, coin shows, and online marketplaces like eBay are all great places to check. Be sure to look at the seller's ratings and reviews if you're buying or selling online. Remember, condition is everything when it comes to getting the best price for your coin. So, to sum it up, the 1958 Washinton quarter is an interesting coin with historical significance and decent value, especially if you have one in good condition or a high-grade uncirculated coin. Whether you find one with no mint mark or a D or S, it's important to check its condition and always stay up to date with current silver prices. If you've got a 1958 Washinton quarter in your collection, now you know what it's worth. Let us know in the comments if you've found any of these quarters or if you have any questions about coin collecting. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more great coin content. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have an exciting topic for all you coin enthusiasts out there. We're diving into the history, value, and market worth of the 1954 no-mint mark Washinton quarter dollar coin. If you've got one of these hidden in your collection or piggy bank, stick around, because you might just have a small treasure on your hands. Let's get started. The Washinton quarter, first struck in 1932, was designed to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Created by artist John Flanagan, it features Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse, a symbol of American strength and freedom. The 1954 quarter is part of the ongoing Washinton quarter series, which continues to be popular with collectors today. Now you may be wondering, what makes the 1954 quarter special? Well, the 1954 coin is notable because it was minted in significant quantities, but the real intrigue comes when you start talking about those with no mint mark. But before we jump into the value, let's talk about how these coins were produced. Mint marks are crucial to understanding a coin's history. For U.S. coins, the mint mark indicates where it was struck. During 1954, the U.S. Mint operated primarily out of three locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. Now, the 1954 Washinton quarter was produced in all three locations. The key factor here is the no mint mark variety, which indicates that the coin was struck in Philadelphia. While this may sound ordinary, certain factors make these coins worth more than face value. Let's break it down. In 1954, the U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters, but the exact number varies depending on the mint mark. For the 1954 no mint mark, approximately 16 million coins were struck in Philadelphia, which isn't a particularly low number for a coin, but it does contribute to its overall value. So, what makes these coins more valuable than their face value of 25 cents? Well, several factors come into play here. The coin's condition, rarity, and demand all factor into the price you could get for a 1954 no mint mark Washinton quarter. Alright, let's talk money, the part you've all been waiting for. The current market value of the 1954 no mint mark quarter depends on its grade, which is a measure of its condition. A coin in poor condition, with heavy wear, might only be worth around $5 to $8. But in excellent condition, a 1954 no mint mark Washinton quarter can fetch anywhere from $10 to $20. And if it's graded as an MS-65, Mint State 65, it can be worth even more, reaching $40 or higher. However, if you're lucky enough to have a 1954 no mint mark quarter in a high grade, like MS-67, you could see values soar upwards of $100 or more, especially if you're selling it to the right collector. Grading is key when it comes to determining the value of your coin. A coin's grade depends on its level of wear and tear, including the sharpness of the details, the presence of scratches, and overall luster. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. For example, A mint state coin is one that has never been circulated and retains all of its original detail, luster, and no signs of wear. For the 1954 no-mint mark quarter, collectors look for coins that have crisp, clear features and minimal damage. If you're new to coin grading, consider having your coin professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC, who specialize in authenticating and grading coins. Now, once you've got a 1954 no-mint mark Washinton quarter in good condition, you may be wondering where you can sell it for the best price. There are a few options for selling your coin. First, you can visit your local coin shop, where dealers may give you an immediate offer. However, keep in mind that they might offer a lower price since they need to make a profit too. Another option is online auctions, such as eBay. Here, you can list your coin and let collectors from around the world bid on it. Make sure to take clear, high-quality photos of both sides of your coin, and be honest about its condition in the description. Lastly, if you're looking for a more professional approach, you can sell your coin through a numismatic auction house that specializes in rare and collectible coins. These options usually net higher prices but come with fees or commissions. Before we wrap up, let's dive into a few fun facts about the 1954 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. Did you know that the Washinton quarter was actually redesigned in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's bicentennial? Over the years, its design has only been slightly modified, but it remains one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history. And here's a neat tidbit. The 1954 quarter is part of the larger series of 90% silver quarters that were struck by the U.S. Mint before 1965. So, even though it's mostly composed of copper, it still carries a historical significance that collectors find appealing. That's all for today's deep dive into the 1954 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. Whether you have one in your collection or you're on the hunt for one, this coin continues to hold value in the world of numismatics. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin and history content, and leave a comment below if you've got a 1954 quarter or any other cool coins. Until next time, happy collecting! Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1944 Washinton quarter. If you've come across one of these quarters, especially one without a mint mark, you might just have a valuable piece in your collection. Let's explore its history, its worth, and what collectors today are willing to pay for this classic coin. Let's start with a bit of background on the Washinton quarter. This coin was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter, which had been in circulation since 1916. The Washinton quarter became so popular that it continued to be produced, eventually replacing other designs permanently in American currency. In 1944, the United States was deeply involved in World War II, and demand for coins was high. The Washinton quarter produced in 1944 was 90% silver, as were all quarters up until 1964. After 1964, silver was replaced by a copper-nickel blend to reduce costs. Alright, let's talk about what it means if your quarter doesn't have a mint mark. Which U.S. Mint facility produced the coin? In 1944, quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia quarters were made without a mint mark, which is why the 1944 quarter without a mint mark is actually a Philadelphia coin. If your coin has a D or S mark, it was made in Denver or San Francisco, respectively. These mint marks are typically found on the reverse side of the coin, just below the wreath. So, if you have a 1944 quarter without a mint mark, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, you might be wondering what makes a 1944 Washinton quarter valuable. Well, several factors affect a coin's value. 1. Condition. Condition is one of the most important factors. Coins are graded on a scale, with MS or mint state being the highest grades. If you have a well-preserved 1944 quarter in mint state, it's definitely worth more than a worn or damaged quarter. Even small details, like scratches or faded inscriptions, can affect the value. 2. Silver content. All quarters minted before 1965 contain 90% silver. With silver prices fluctuating on the market, the metal alone gives this coin some inherent value. Today's silver market adds a baseline value, though the numismatic, or collector, value often exceeds it. Point 3. Rarity and demand. While the 1944 quarter isn't exactly rare, coins in higher grades or with unique features, like errors, can be highly sought after. Collectors always want coins in the best possible condition, and many look specifically for pieces with interesting historical backgrounds. So, let's talk numbers. What is the 1944 no-mint mark Washinton quarter worth today? On the low end, circulated 1944 quarters are typically worth between $5 and $8, mostly due to their silver content. However, as we move up the grading scale, values start to rise significantly. A 1944 quarter in mint state condition, such as MS-63 or MS-64, can range from $30 to $50 or more, depending on the specifics of the coin. Now, if we're talking about a high-grade 1944 quarter, like MS-65 or even MS-67, that's where values can jump to $100 or even $500. And for those super rare coins graded in MS-68 or higher, they can fetch thousands of dollars. One exceptional MS-68 specimen sold for over $5,000 in recent years, largely because it was in pristine, untouched condition. If you're curious about the value of your 1944 Washinton quarter, the first step is to determine its grade. Consider consulting a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate and grade your coin, which is especially important if you're looking to sell. Even if you're not ready to get your coin professionally graded, there are online resources and grading guides that can give you a rough idea of its condition. You can also look at recent auction results to see what similar coins have sold for. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and other numismatic auction houses regularly list Washinton quarters and can give you a good sense of current market demand. Before we wrap up, there's one last thing to keep in mind: errors. Some 1944 quarters have unique errors or varieties, like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These errors can make a coin even more desirable to collectors. While the 1944 Washinton quarter isn't widely known for major error varieties, it's always worth taking a close look. Even a minor error can increase the coin's value. So, there you have it, the history, factors, and current value of the 1944 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. Just be holding a piece of history with significant value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, these coins represent a fascinating era in American history. Drop a comment below if you've got one of these quarters or if you're on the hunt for one. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more coin history, value insights, and collecting tips. Until next time, happy collecting! Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of US coinage to explore a coin that has intrigued collectors for years: the 1943 Washinton quarter with no mint mark. If you're a fan of history, coin collecting, or just interested in what makes some quarters worth way more than 25 cents, you're in the right place. We'll cover the history, key features, and current market value of this intriguing coin. So, let's get into it. The Washinton quarter was first introduced in 1932, replacing the standing Liberty quarter. It was created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. What many people don't realize is that this coin wasn't initially intended to be a permanent part of US currency. It was only supposed to be a commemorative issue for 1 year. But people loved it, and the Washinton quarter was adopted as the standard design for the 25-cent coin. Fast forward a bit to 1943, right in the middle of World War II. The economy was being heavily influenced by the war, and silver was a precious commodity. But despite the war's impact, the US continued minting quarters in 90% silver. This makes the 1943 Washinton quarter an interesting piece of wartime history. All quarters minted in Philadelphia during this year had no mint mark, which is common for Philadelphia coins of this period. Alright, so what's the deal with no mint mark? Mint marks are used to identify where a coin was produced. Typically, coins minted in Denver have a D mint mark, those minted in San Francisco have an S, and Philadelphia coins are often left without any mint mark. If you find a 1943 Washington quarter without a mint mark, it was minted in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was the original U.S. mint location, and until relatively recently, coins minted there usually didn't carry a mint mark. This lack of a mint mark can sometimes add intrigue for collectors, as it's a quick way to know which mint it came from without the added letter. Now, let's take a closer look at the 1943 Washington quarter itself. The coin is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it a distinctive feel and look compared to today's quarters. On the obverse, or front, you'll see a profile portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Below Washington's neck, there's the year, 1943, and around the edges, we see the words Liberty at the top and the national motto, In God We Trust, on the left. On the reverse side, we have an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, a symbol of both strength and peace. The words United States of America curve around the top, with E pluribus unum in the middle. And of course, quarter dollar is at the bottom. These are standard elements for Washington quarters of this era, but the 90% silver content is what really sets this coin apart from modern quarters, which are made of a copper-nickel blend. Now, let's get to the part everyone's been waiting for. What's this coin worth today? The value of a 1943 no-mint mark Washington quarter varies greatly depending on its condition. First, it's important to know that the silver content alone gives this coin intrinsic value. With the current price of silver hovering around $4,555, the melt value of this coin is about $6.99, but for collectors, it's worth much more. For circulated 1943 Washington quarters, values can start at around $7 to $10, primarily based on silver content. However, as the coin's condition improves, so does its value. A coin in extremely fine condition, for example, might be worth around $15 to $25. The real jump in value happens with coins in uncirculated or mint state condition. In mint state 60, this coin can fetch around $35 to $45. Higher mint state grades, like MS65, often go for $75 to $150 or more. And in top grades, like MS67, you're looking at prices that can exceed $500. It's rare, but pristine examples in even higher grades could be worth up to $1,000 or more to serious collectors. So, condition really is key. If you're curious about the condition of your 1943 quarter, you'll need to understand coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, and the grade is all about how much wear and tear the coin shows. A coin in higher grades will have more defined details, like sharp edges, clear lettering, and minimal scratches or marks. For example, in a circulated coin, Washington's hairlines and facial features will show significant wear, and the eagle on the reverse side might look more worn down. But in an uncirculated or mint state coin, these details will be crisp and well defined. If you think you have a high-grade coin, it may be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, as a certified grade can significantly impact the coin's value. As of 2024, the coin market has been strong, and silver coins like the 1943 Washington quarter continue to be popular with collectors. Market demand fluctuates, and it's influenced by factors like the silver price, the overall economy, and the rarity of high-grade examples. Coins that are historically significant, like those from the World War II era, are especially sought after. One tip for collectors: keep an eye on online auctions and coin dealers to see how prices move. Recently, auctions for high-grade examples have been competitive, with mint state coins selling for impressive amounts. So, if you have a 1943 Washington quarter in excellent condition, this could be a good time to get it appraised or graded. So, there you have it, the history, features, and market value of the 1943 no-mint mark Washington quarter. It's a piece of history you can hold in your hand, with value not just in its silver content but also in its story. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coins like this remind us of the craftsmanship and history behind U.S. currency. Narrator. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content on valuable and historic coins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Welcome back, coin collectors and history buffs. Today, we're diving into the story behind a classic piece of American coinage, the 1937 no-mint mark Washinton quarter. We'll explore its history, why it's so special, and just how much it's worth today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about this valuable coin, stick around. You might be surprised at what this 25-cent piece can fetch on the market. First, let's set the scene. The 1937 Washinton quarter has a rich history dating back to a time when the U.S. Mint was producing coins not only for practical use but also as symbols of American ideals. The Washinton quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, who depicted Washington on the obverse side and an eagle on the reverse. This design has since become one of the most iconic images in U.S. coinage. Flanagan's design wasn't just beautiful, it was symbolic. Washington's stoic profile represented strength and leadership. The eagle on the reverse side symbolized the country's ideals and resilience. The 1937 quarter is part of this early era of Washinton quarters, making it particularly valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk about the no-mint mark detail. If you look at a 1937 Washinton quarter and don't see a mint mark, that actually tells us something important about where it was produced. Most coins feature a mint mark that indicates the location where they were minted, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and so on. However, a 1937 quarter without a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't use a mint mark for its quarters. Philadelphia was the main U.S. Mint facility, and its quarters were produced in higher quantities than in other locations. Despite this, the Philadelphia quarters from the 1930s are still highly collectible, especially in excellent condition. The 1937 Washinton quarter has a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, making it part of the silver quarter category. Quarters made of 90% silver were produced until 1964, when the mint switched to a clad composition due to rising silver prices. That silver content is one of the reasons these quarters are sought after today. With silver prices fluctuating, this quarter's intrinsic silver value adds to its worth. But beyond just silver, collectors prize this quarter for its historical context, age, and most importantly, its condition. Condition, or grade, is one of the biggest factors influencing the value of any coin. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to mint state, MS70. For the 1937 quarter, the highest values are seen in coins that are graded MS60 and above, where details like Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers remain well-defined and pristine. Even a lower-grade 1937 quarter can have significant value due to its silver content, but pristine coins in MS grades can fetch prices many times higher than their face value. So, if you have a 1937 quarter lying around, take a closer look at its condition. It might be worth more than you think. Now, let's get into the numbers. What is a 1937 no-mint mark Washinton quarter actually worth in today's market? Coins in circulated condition, grades like good or very good, typically go for around $5 to $10. But in higher grades, such as MS60 or above, you're looking at $30 to $50. And in even higher mint state grades, prices can soar to $100 or more. In some cases, particularly rare, pristine 1937 quarters with no wear can even reach values over $500 at auction. These coins are rare gems for collectors and often the stars of coin shows and auctions. So maybe you're wondering, how can I find out what my 1937 Washinton quarter is worth? The best way to start is by consulting with a professional coin dealer or getting the coin graded by a reputable service like the PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These companies can give your coin an official grade, which will help you determine its market value. When you have an official grade, you'll have a better idea of what your coin might fetch on the open market. For selling, you could go to an auction, online marketplace, or even a coin show, where you're likely to find collectors actively seeking these coins. The 1937 no-mint mark Washington quarter may seem like just another piece of change, but its historical background, silver content, and potential for high value make it a remarkable collectible. Whether you're holding on to one or thinking about starting a collection, it's a reminder of the stories our coins can tell. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And drop a comment below if you have any questions or want us to cover another coin. Happy collecting! Welcome back, coin collectors and history buffs. Today, we're diving into one of the most sought-after coins for Washington quarter collectors, the 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter. We'll cover its background, what makes it unique, why it's so valuable, and what it's currently worth in the market. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design by sculptor John Flanagan featured a profile of George Washington on the obverse, the front, with an eagle on the reverse side. Now, let's fast forward to 1936, a critical year in coinage history. This was the height of the Great Depression, and while millions were out of work, the United States Mint was continuing to produce these coins in large quantities. In 1936, Washington quarters were struck at 3 U.S. Mint locations: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The 1936 Philadelphia coin, or no mint mark version, had a mintage of around 41 million, the highest of the 3 mints that year. So you might be thinking, if over 41 million were minted, why is this coin so special? That's a good question. Although it's common in circulated grades, finding this coin in high grade or uncirculated condition is a different story. Remember, back in the 1930s, people were using these coins daily, so most have a lot of wear. Finding a well-preserved 1936 Washington quarter is challenging. High-grade examples of the 1936 no-mint mark quarter, graded MS-65 or higher by agencies like PCGS or NGC, are valuable because of their rarity and the demand among collectors. Let's talk about coin grading, because it plays a huge role in determining value. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better condition. A 1936 Washington quarter graded in lower conditions, like good, G4, or fine, F12, typically won't be worth much over its face value. However, when you get into the higher grades, like MS-65, mint state, or even MS-67, that's when you see some serious value. Uncirculated 1936 quarters, those that haven't seen any wear, are far more valuable. For instance, an MS-66 graded 1936 quarter can fetch hundreds of dollars, while an MS-67 example could be worth over $1,000. Several factors influence the value of the 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter. First, you have the silver content. Like all quarters made before 1965, this coin is 90% silver. As silver prices fluctuate, they impact the baseline value of this coin, but it's the collectability factor that makes the biggest difference. Collectors want high-grade specimens, and as we mentioned earlier, finding a 1936 quarter in pristine condition is rare. So, the scarcity of well-preserved examples is a big driver of its value. Alright, let's get to the big question: how much is a 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter worth today? Let's break it down based on condition. Circulated condition, good to very fine. These coins typically sell for around $5 to $15, depending on silver content and wear. Uncirculated condition, mint state and MS-60 to MS-63, you're looking at prices from $40 to $80. High-grade uncirculated, MS-65 and above 4 coins in MS-65. The value jumps to around $200 to $300. For MS-66 coins, expect around $400 to $600. And if you're lucky enough to own an MS-67 example or higher, those coins can sell for $1,500 or more at auctions, depending on demand and market trends. As you can see, Condition is everything when it comes to determining the worth of a 1936 Washington quarter. If you own a 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter or come across one, handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it, as this can reduce its value significantly. Instead, store it in a protective holder, like a coin flip or a graded slab if it's valuable enough. Cleaning a coin may seem like a good idea, but it can destroy the natural patina and actually lower its value by a large margin. When you handle valuable coins, use gloves to avoid leaving oils or dirt on the surface. This keeps the coin in its best possible condition. So, there you have it, the fascinating history, unique factors, and current market value of the 1936 no-mint mark Washington quarter. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned enthusiast, finding one of these coins in excellent condition is always exciting. Its combination of history, precious metal content, and rarity makes it a prized addition to any collection. If you enjoyed learning about this classic coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you own a 1936 Washington quarter. And as always, keep searching, keep collecting, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, coin collectors and history buffs! Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1932 Washington quarter. If you're here to find out why this coin is so highly valued, what makes it unique, and how much it's worth today, you're in the right place. The Washington quarter first rolled out of the U.S. Mint in 1932, during one of the most challenging times in American history, the Great Depression. While people were struggling financially, the U.S. government decided to commemorate the 200th birthday of the nation's first president, George Washington, with a brand new quarter design. The artist chosen for this task was John Flanagan. His design of Washington's profile on the obverse, or front of the coin, has become iconic. Originally, the U.S. Mint only intended for this quarter to be a one-year commemorative coin, but its popularity quickly made it a staple in American currency. Now, what makes the 1932 Washington quarter particularly valuable? It all comes down to its rarity. In 1932, quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint, however, produced the fewest of all, only 408,000 coins. This incredibly low mintage makes the 1932 quarter one of the scarcest Washington quarters ever produced. For collectors, low mintage typically means high demand. This coin, with its low supply, became a must-have for anyone interested in assembling a complete collection of Washington quarters. Before we dive into the values, let's talk about grading. With any collectible coin, the condition, or grade, is absolutely key to determining its worth. Coins are typically graded on a scale from poor to mint state, with mint state being the highest, showing almost no signs of wear. A 1932 Washington quarter in good condition, meaning it's heavily worn but the date and mint mark are readable, will be worth significantly less than one in mint state, which shows almost no wear at all. Mint state coins, especially those with a high grade, are the crown jewels of any collection. Alright, so how much is this coin worth today? Like most collectibles, the value of the 1932 Washington quarter has increased over time, and it varies by grade. Let's go through some current market values. In good condition, a 1932 quarter might fetch around $100 to $150. If you have one in very fine condition, you could be looking at anywhere from $250 to $400. For extremely fine examples, values rise to the $400 to $600 range. But if you're lucky enough to have a mint state 1932 you're sitting on something very special. A mint state 60 grade 1932 can range from $800 to $1,200. For those with even higher grades, like MS 65 and above, prices can reach over $5,000 to $8,000, and in some cases, even more if it's a top quality specimen. If you own or plan to buy a 1932 quarter, certification is crucial. Certification from companies like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, adds legitimacy to your coin and provides confidence in its authenticity and grade. Certified coins generally fetch higher prices because buyers can trust what they're getting. So, is the 1932 S quarter a good investment? Well, coin collecting can be a great way to store value, especially for rare coins like this. Over the past few decades, the value of high-grade 1932 S quarters has shown steady growth. While prices can fluctuate, this coin's historical significance and rarity make it a highly desirable piece that many collectors consider worth the investment. To wrap things up, the 1932 S Washinton quarter isn't just a piece of American history, it's also a valuable collector's item that can be worth thousands of dollars. If you're on the lookout for one, remember, grade and certification are everything. Be sure to buy from reputable dealers and always consider having your coins certified. And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1932 S Washinton quarter, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting insights. Let us know in the comments if you have one of these rare quarters or what coin you want us to cover next. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Hello, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic coins in American currency, the Washinton quarter. Specifically, we're focusing on those quarters with the P Mint mark, minted in Philadelphia, and spanning from 1858 all the way to 2005. We'll be exploring the history, value, rare finds, and what they're worth in today's market. The story of the Washinton quarter begins in 1932, not 1858 as some might think. 1932 marked George Washington's 200th birthday, and to commemorate this, the U.S. Mint released a quarter with Washington's profile. The quarter replaced the standing Liberty design, and it was immediately embraced by the public. Unlike many coins, the Washington quarter design was originally intended as a one-year commemorative but was continued due to its popularity. The Philadelphia Mint, where these coins with the P Mint mark were produced, has been responsible for minting most U.S. coins since the late 1700s. Philadelphia coins are easy to spot thanks to the P on the coin, which was introduced on quarters in 1980. Before this, Philadelphia quarters had no mint mark at all. From 1932 to 1964, Washington quarters were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. But with the rising cost of silver, in 1965, the U.S. switched to a copper-nickel alloy. This decision ended silver circulation quarters, and from then on, Washington quarters were produced in clad form with no silver content for general circulation. Did you know? A few silver quarters were accidentally made after 1964 due to mint errors, making these highly collectible. This brings us to some unique coinage, the silver-proof quarters issued in later years for collectors. These silver-proof quarters, especially from the 1990s and early 2000s, are in high demand today. Alright, now for the exciting part, the rare Washington quarters from 1858 to 2005 that could be worth a lot of money. Let's break it down by decade. One of the most valuable categories for Washington quarters is the era coins. For instance, the 1932D and 1932S quarters, while minted in Denver and San Francisco, are known for their low mintages and are worth a lot. But even the Philadelphia P Mint quarters have some standout valuable pieces. One rare find is the 1976 bicentennial quarter, particularly in high grades. These coins feature a special reverse with a colonial drummer and were minted in celebration of America's 200th anniversary. A 1976 P bicentennial quarter in pristine condition can fetch significant prices at auctions today. Another major moneymaker is the 1983 P Washington quarter in high grades. Due to a massive coin shortage in the early 1980s, many quarters circulated heavily and were often badly worn. If you happen to find a well-preserved 1983 P quarter, it could be worth hundreds of dollars, even in circulated condition. Other valuable coins include era varieties like the 1999 Delaware quarter with the spitting horse error, and the 2005 Minnesota quarter with the extra tree error. These unusual varieties are fascinating for collectors and can sometimes fetch substantial prices. So, what are these quarters worth today? Let's go decade by decade and take a look at what some of these coins are fetching in 2023's market. I'll also cover general guidelines for circulated versus uncirculated grades. Starting with the silver quarters from 1932 to 1964, these coins hold intrinsic silver value. As of 2023, their silver content alone is worth around $4 to $5 per coin, but they're typically worth more to collectors, especially if in higher grades. A 1932p in mint condition can be worth hundreds of dollars. For post-1965 clad quarters, most are worth face value in circulated condition. However, in mint state, MS condition, they can fetch more. For example, the 1976 bicentennial P quarter can go for $15 to $20 in MS65 condition. High-grade 1983 P quarters, as we mentioned, can reach $100 or more due to their scarcity in top quality. In addition to regular strikes, proof quarters, especially those struck in silver starting in the 1990s, have higher values. A 1999 silver proof P quarter can go for up to $30 or more depending on condition. Now, if you're wondering how to tell if your quarters are valuable, here are a few quick tips. First, look at the date and the mint mark. The mint mark will be a P if it's from Philadelphia and will be located on the front near Washington's ponytail on quarters made after 1980. Next, check the coin's condition. High-grade quarters, especially from before 2005, are rare. Even a minor blemish can impact the coin's grade and value. If you think you have a valuable quarter, consider getting it graded by a professional service. The Washinton quarter with the P mint mark holds a fascinating place in U.S. history and coin collecting. While most quarters are worth their face value, a few rare gems can be worth hundreds or even thousands. So, check your pocket change and keep an eye out for those rare dates and era coins. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned numismatist, the thrill of finding a valuable coin is unmatched. Don't forget to look for key dates, eras, and pristine condition quarters, especially from 1983 and those bicentennial editions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you've found any valuable Washinton quarters. Happy hunting! Ever wonder if that old Washinton quarter you have lying around could be worth more than just 25 cents? What if I told you some Washinton quarters are valued in the thousands? That's right. Today, we're diving deep into the Washinton quarter series with a specific focus on the P mint mark, minted between 1790 and 2001. So, let's go back in time for a second. Although the quarter as we know it didn't come about until 1932, Washington's face and this denomination were intended to honor George Washington himself. The idea was simple: create a coin to mark the 200th birthday of the first U.S. president. And that's how the Washinton quarter was born, with the Philadelphia Mint taking the lead in its production. Now you might be wondering, what exactly does the P stand for? The P indicates the quarter was minted in Philadelphia, the oldest minting facility in the United States, where some of the most iconic coins in American history have been produced. While Philadelphia coins didn't always carry a mint mark, by the 1980s, the mint began adding the P mark on quarters to signify Philadelphia's role in their production. Collectors, pay attention. Certain years of the P mint Washinton quarters are worth far more than just a few cents. For example, quarters minted in specific years with eras, like the 1982 and 1983 P mint quarters, hold a special place among collectors due to their higher-than-normal value. Why? Because in those years, the mint didn't produce any uncirculated sets, making high-quality examples much harder to find. Other interesting P quarters worth mentioning include those from 1999, particularly from the State Quarters series. State Quarters marked a new era in U.S. coinage, and the 1999 P Delaware quarter, for example, can reach impressive prices if it's in pristine condition. So, even if you just have a regular Philadelphia quarter from those years, it's worth giving it a closer look. Now, let's talk condition. The value of any quarter depends heavily on its condition. Most collectors refer to coin grading scales that go from good, G, to mint state, MS. An MS-65 or higher grade Washinton quarter with a P mint mark, especially in rare years, can easily fetch hundreds if not thousands of dollars at auction. But that's not all. Some lucky collectors have found quarters with rare mint errors. For example, off-center strikes, double dies, and even missing clad layers can make a P quarter even more desirable. These unique errors can increase a quarter's value tenfold, and collectors are actively hunting for these gems in their change. Speaking of value, let's talk current market prices. A typical P mint quarter from 1970 to 2001 might not hold much value beyond its face if it's heavily circulated, but coins in higher grades, with no damage or wear, are a different story. As of now, some of these Washinton quarters can fetch anywhere from $20 to several $100s if graded MS-65 or higher. For example, a 1983 P quarter in near-perfect condition might sell for around $50 to $100. But if you come across one with a unique minting error or in top-notch condition, it could be valued even higher, with the potential to cross $1,000 at a premium auction. With modern quarters, values are lower for the average 2000s and beyond quarters, but it's always worth keeping an eye out for unusual features. The best way to know if you have something valuable? Look up your quarter's specific year, grade, and condition. Don't be afraid to consult online price guides or even bring your coin to a professional grader. So, next time you find a quarter with a P mint mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history worth more than you'd imagine. And who knows? Your pocket change could turn out to be a collector's treasure. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the fascinating world of Washinton quarters. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more coin collecting tips and tricks. Happy hunting, and good luck finding your treasure. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating history, value, and potential treasure trove behind Washinton quarters, specifically ones minted between 1932 and 1999 that feature the D mint mark. So let's start with a quick overview. The Washinton quarter was first introduced back in 1932 as a way to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter design and became an icon of American coinage. Since its release, the Washinton quarter has seen many different versions, from the early 90% silver quarters to the more recent clad compositions. Now, these coins can be worth a few cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the year, condition, and rarity. But today, we're narrowing down to quarters minted in Denver, identified by the D mint mark on the coin. Let's talk about that little D mark. If you flip your quarter over and look right above the R in quarter dollar, you'll notice a small letter. This tells you where the coin was minted. A D mint mark signifies that the quarter was produced at the Denver Mint. Most years, the Denver Mint produced Washinton quarters in high quantities. However, a few select dates and certain high-grade quarters with that D mark can hold significant value due to their rarity or demand among collectors. Now, if you have a quarter minted between 1932 and 1964 with a D mint mark, you're looking at a coin made of 90% silver. Some of these quarters can be worth far more than face value, especially if they're from specific years or are in particularly good condition. Among these silver quarters, the 1932 D quarter is the Holy Grail. It's the rarest Washinton quarter from this period, with only 436,800 coins minted. A well-preserved 1932 D quarter in mint condition could fetch thousands of dollars at auction. After 1964, quarters were no longer made with silver. Instead, they switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. For most post-1964 quarters, the value is generally face value, with a few exceptions. Interestingly, some post-1964 quarters, like the 1983 D quarter, can be worth more than face value due to a shortage of high-grade coins in circulation. Many quarters from this year were heavily used, and finding one in near-perfect condition is rare and valuable to collectors. Condition is everything. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins are graded from good to mint state, and grading takes into account wear, scratches, and luster. For example, a 1932D Washinton quarter in MS-65 grade could sell for thousands, while one in good condition might be worth $100 to $200. It's always worth getting your coin graded if you suspect it's in good condition. Now let's talk numbers. As of the latest data, here are some approximate values for specific years and grades of Washinton quarters with the D mint mark. 1932D, up to $1,000 plus in MS-60 and thousands in higher grades. 1937D, ranges between $30 to $300 depending on the grade. 1983D and MS-65 could be worth between $20 to $50 or more, which is high for a modern quarter. 1999D quarters generally face value unless it's an error coin. Lastly, let's touch on error coins. Some Washinton quarters from the Denver Mint have minting errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks. These errors are rare and can significantly increase a coin's value. If you come across an unusual-looking quarter, it might be worth getting it authenticated by a professional or sending it to a grading service. So there you have it. Not all Washinton quarters are created equal, and certain D mint mark quarters can be worth way more than their face value. Remember, key dates, mint condition, and errors are what you want to look for. Your loose change might just have a hidden treasure. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more coin collecting tips. If you found a valuable quarter, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your quarters turn to gold. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1776 to 1976 Washinton quarter with the D mint mark. This coin is special not just because of its unique design, but because it represents an important piece of our country's history. Stick around to learn all about this quarter's backstory, why collectors love it, and what it's worth in today's market. Let's start by going back in time to 1976. This was a monumental year for the United States as it marked 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To celebrate the bicentennial, the U.S. Mint produced special coins that paid tribute to the country's journey and achievements. The Washinton quarter was no exception. Unlike the standard quarters featuring George Washington, the bicentennial quarter features a unique design on the reverse. Instead of the usual eagle, this one has a colonial drummer boy, designed by Jack L. Ahr, along with 13 stars and the dual dates 1776 to 1976. This design was intended to capture the spirit of American independence and honor the Revolutionary War. Now, let's talk about that D mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, which produced millions of these commemorative quarters. It's worth noting that these quarters were also struck in Philadelphia and San Francisco. So if you check your coin, you might see a D, S, or no mint mark at all, which would mean it was struck in Philadelphia. The Denver Mint struck an estimated 860 million bicentennial quarters with the D mint mark, making it fairly common in circulation. However, there are certain factors that can add value to a D mint mark quarter, especially if it's in exceptional condition or has specific errors. One thing that collectors are often curious about is the composition of these quarters. Most bicentennial quarters, including those from the Denver Mint, were made with a copper-nickel clad, which is a blend of copper and nickel. However, there were also some special 40% silver bicentennial quarters struck in San Francisco, which adds a bit of variation to the types of bicentennial quarters out there. The 40% silver quarters are rarer and therefore worth more, but remember, the Denver Mint quarters are almost exclusively copper-nickel. However, finding one in high mint state condition, or with certain errors, can still make it very valuable. Now you're probably wondering, how much is my D mint mark bicentennial quarter worth? Well, like most coins, its value depends on a few key factors: condition, grade, and rarity of any errors. Coins in mint state, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for a premium. A typical circulated D mint bicentennial quarter might only be worth face value, but an MS-65 could fetch anywhere from $5 to $15. And if you're lucky enough to have an MS-67, you're looking at around $200, or even more depending on demand. Another way a D bicentennial quarter could be valuable is if it has a striking error. Known errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and sometimes even die cracks. These types of errors are uncommon, but when they do show up, collectors are willing to pay a premium. For example, a double die error can add significant value. An off-center strike error on a D mint mark quarter could go for $100 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. Alright, so let's talk about what these quarters are worth in today's market. While the standard D mint quarters in circulated condition are worth around face value, uncirculated, high-grade versions, or error coins can sell for hundreds of dollars. For instance, recent sales on auction sites have seen MS66 or MS67 graded D mint bicentennial quarters go for up to $200 or more. Error coins, as we mentioned, are fetching prices even higher depending on rarity and condition. And if you're lucky enough to have one of the silver-proof versions from San Francisco, those can go for $8 to $10 in uncirculated condition. If you're looking to add a valuable bicentennial quarter to your collection, here are a few tips. First, check the grade and consider getting it professionally graded if it's in particularly good shape. Second, keep an eye out for those rare errors. Even minor flaws can add value. Finally, store your coins properly. Protect them from moisture and fingerprints by using coin holders or cases. Remember, condition is key when it comes to coin collecting, and keeping your bicentennial quarters in top shape will help retain and even increase their value over time. So there you have it, the 1776 to 1976 Washinton quarter with the D mint mark may not make you rich overnight, but if you have a high-grade, uncirculated, or error coin, you could have something worth a nice little sum. It's an iconic piece of American history and a must-have for collectors who love US coinage. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on more coin collecting tips and history. Let us know in the comments if you've got a bicentennial quarter, and what you'd like to learn about next. Until then,